Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom is finally out. I have been playing it non-stop. When the game was first announced, I will admit I was very skeptical of the gameplay. It just looked too weird and different. Zelda is finally playable, but she has this weird echo power. And the game looks just like Link's Awakening, which, don't get me wrong, that's a great art style, but I was hoping that Zelda's first game would have her own unique art style. But when more trailers released, the more excited I got for this brand new adventure. The game started to craft its own identity, and I started to really see this game as its own. But does The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom stand tall with the rest of Zelda's catalog? Let's get into it. Echoes of Wisdom starts off with the silent hero himself, Link, saving Princess Zelda, which normally doesn't happen till the end of Zelda games, so you know this game is going to be a little different. Link defeats the blue beast and yay, we saved the day. Psych! Just kidding, Link falls into this dark rift, but at the last second he frees Zelda from captivity, leaving her to be the one to save Hyrule from these mysterious rifts. The plot is nothing too special, but I love that you get to play the game in the perspective of the princess. The game will take you throughout the land of Hyrule, with both the main and side quests to tackle. I love me some side quests, and while most of them were kind of generic, go out there and get something and come back, or show this person a particular enemy, there were some that I genuinely loved playing through. Echoes of Wisdom is not your traditional Zelda game. First off, you play as the titular Princess Zelda. It only took 30-ish years to have Zelda as the protag, but whatever. Not only is Zelda now playable, but Link is the one who needs saving.
Well, excuse me, princess.
Zelda is not the swordsman that Link is, but instead is equipped with the power of Echoes, an ability that lets Zelda copy specific items and enemies in the world. This power provides the player with so much creativity. You'll be using echoes to defeat enemies and platform. Yeah, oddly enough, this Zelda game is chock full of platforming sections. I'm not mad, it's just weird to be talking about platforming in a Zelda game. However, one of my biggest complaints in Echoes of Wisdom is unfortunately with the Echoes ability. Don't get me wrong, the amount of echoes you get is more than plentiful, but it's that aspect that can make the game a bit tedious to play. The more echoes you get, the longer this list grows. And this list is where the problem lies. There's just way too much to scroll through. Thankfully, you have a few options of how you want to organize it, but it doesn't let you fully customize it. I would have loved a feature where you can lock off certain echoes from the quick menu so that this list isn't so annoying to go through. There are so many echoes that are very similar to one another, which is great for players that want to have their favorite echo, but it's just too much for this quick menu. Plus, it doesn't help that some of these echoes are like one and done, and while you can still use them, they really don't offer too much value outside of very specific situations. That's all to say that the quick menu for echoes can get pretty tedious to comb through. Of course, Zelda has even more abilities up her sleeve, like the ability to grab onto objects and echoes. This adds another layer to your creativity, allowing you to pull and follow objects and enemies. You also gain the ability to use robots, which sounds really cool, but these honestly feel like an afterthought. You get this later in the game, and by then you are so used to using echoes that you tend to forget about them. The last ability Zelda can use is the hero mode. This allows Zelda to transform into a warrior armed with a sword and shield, and eventually a bow and arrow and some bombs. This mode brings you back to a more familiar style of Zelda. This is great for boss fights and large group of enemies. I love that the game gives you this ability, even if it is only temporarily. You can also upgrade each aspect of the hero mode, from the energy to the weapons. The world of Echoes of Wisdom is massive, 8 times bigger than Link's Awakening. I am so glad they made the world so huge because there are so many cool areas and secrets to discover. The overworld doesn't feel too bloated either, it's just as dense as it should be. There are so many towns to discover as well. This is one of my favorite elements in any video game, and Echoes of Wisdom has a plentiful amount of diverse towns with lots of different races. This world just feels so lived in, even with all this chaos around you. The game visually looks so dang cute. I love this diorama look. It was first introduced in Link's Awakening, but in Echoes of Wisdom, they went even further with this art style. The art team really got to stretch their creative muscles with some of these designs. Both NPCs and monsters look fantastic. It's always a treat to see these classic foes in a new art style, especially since some of these monsters haven't been seen in a long time. Shout out to my paralysis demon. I was afraid that the map and locales would be too similar to games like A Link to the Past, but thankfully, while it is kind of similar, it is far more expansive and unique. And that's probably the best thing about this game. It has such a unique identity. And while some people may not like this new style of Zelda games, I for one am happy that Echoes of Wisdom chooses to be different. Also, the dungeons thankfully lean more towards classic Zelda, with cool bosses and puzzles. There is also rifts that you can close outside of dungeons. These take place in the Still World, this wacky place with loads of platforming goodness. It's not one big world, but they offer a nice change of pace from exploring Hyrule. The music is fantastic with some amazing songs. You got new arrangements of classic songs like Kakariko Village and Hyrule Castle, but the standouts are the entirely original tracks. The cozy tracks are probably my favorite in the game, alongside some other new arrangements. Overall, the future of Zelda is as bright as ever. It's good to know that Grezzo, the developers behind Echoes of Wisdom, can make a great Zelda game. They have worked on the remake of Link's Awakening, but this is their first brand new Zelda, and I am happy to report that this is a great entry. It doesn't come without its flaws though. Like I said, the long list of Echoes is annoying to look through, and the Echoes AIs can be kind of dumb. Sometimes they just don't know what to do, and walls are very challenging to them. Also, it's a shame that the game has frame drops from time to time. It's not egregious, but it's definitely noticeable. It just reminds me that the Switch really is getting up there in years. There are also some other quality of life features that would make the game a little better. For example, when it comes to making smoothies, which I completely forgot, you can only make one smoothie at a time and then it gives you like this little cutscene. It really boggles my mind that you can't make mass amounts of smoothies at once. I just don't understand why that wasn't a thing. And because it takes a little bit to make these smoothies, because you have to do one at a time, it makes making smoothies not really that fun after a while. But those small negativities aside, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom is such a fun and imaginative game. It has a mix of both modern and classic Zelda gameplay, and I believe that it balances the two very well. You get the classic style dungeons with a brand new setting and mechanics. It's easily a must-buy for anyone who loves adventure games. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. God bless.